Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for sort of an end of the year recap of the coaching program and a little bit of insight on what's coming towards everyone in the coaching program, and a little bit of maybe summer planning or getting ready after a little bit of a break, I hope, towards next season. My name is Bill Ennis. I'm a director with BC Hockey. And we have three gentlemen for a presentation this evening. Mike Butler will do the majority of the presentation, and two gentlemen with the coaching program, Jim Weicker and David Marshall, will assist as we go along the way. And Michael will take over the presentation here, and we expect that it'll be in the range of a half an hour by the time everything is said and done. You are all on mute. That only is for quality of presentation. If you do have questions, there is a chat box that you can use, and we will monitor that and get the questions to the presenter if need be. Michael, we're set to go, so hopefully you are too, and we'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely, thank you. Well, welcome everyone to the Enhanced Services webinar. I hope everyone can see the PowerPoint presentation on your screen. I'm always a little bit leery with these type of presentations, but I think it works. We tested it earlier. Here's the agenda we're going to go touch on today. So we're going to go talk a little bit on opening remarks. We're going to talk about our clinic statistics from this past year. We'll go through the summer coaching development opportunities. David Marshall will talk about our process and updates for this year, how they worked, and next year, how they're written into policy. We'll talk a little bit on facilitator and evaluator recruitment, and then we'll end it off by touching a little bit on the summer training session that we're planning. So I'll go to opening remarks first, and we'll have David talk.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this meeting. Appreciate everybody taking some time out of their busy schedule. Thank you to Jim and Michael for being part of this, and of course to Bill for setting this up. We've had a pretty exciting year this year. We've implemented a couple of different processes with the aim of making things more efficient for coaches, and hopefully providing coaches with the support when and where they need the support. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But thank you very much for all those people that put some time and effort into some of these things. And Jim Weicker put an awful lot of time and effort into the coaching program as far as the coach certification area. And Michael Butler has been working feverishly behind the scenes, making sure everything goes well and gets completed and gets the coaching certification done. So a big thank you to both Michael and Jim for their efforts here. So
excellent. Thanks, Jim. Dave. Jim, are you able to talk yet? Did you figure out the microphone situation?
I think so. I hope so. Give me a wave.
Yeah, there we go. Jimmy, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Okay, my name's Jim Weicker. I'm from Cowichan Valley. I'm been involved with BC Hockey for too long, and I've been involved with the coaching program since 2000. And my role in the last couple of years has been working directly with our district people that work within all the different areas within the branch, and kind of communicate with them and make sure that they're ready to put on clinics and help out with the evaluation process for the Development 1 and high performance. So just a lot of go-between on their behalf to help everything go smoothly with you folks. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Jim. Craig Shabatti, who's our branch mentor lead, was unable to attend the call today. He's on a flight to Calgary, but his role with us is basically running the mentorship instructional stream program, which is the complement to NCCP programs. So that's more of our technically specific coaching courses. So we have skating, puck control, goaltending, all those types of things that minor hockey associations can book clinics on, and coaches can take those courses. That has some applicability to certification maintenance, but I know Craig sends his regrets for not being on here today. As for myself, I'm Mike Butler. I'm the manager of coaching and education for BC Hockey, and I think we had a very productive year. We had a lot of changes that we implemented relatively late in the season with respect to Coach 1. We updated the process for certification with Development 1. We had a very successful HP 1 last summer, and hope to have the same success this year. But I'd like to thank everyone for being on this call, especially our instructors and our leads, and all of you that are sitting here trying to make your coaching situation better for your association, your players, and the game itself. So we'll move on to some clinic stats from this past year. We had 508 delegates take Coach 1 Intro to Coach. Coach 1 is for those coaches below Adam, so IP and Novice. That's a blended course with e-learning, which is a 4.5-hour module, and the face-to-face clinic, which is 4.5 hours plus an ice time. So we decided last year, and it was voted in at the AGM in terms of a resolution, to have all of our coaches take Coach 1 if they were at that level. Prior to last year, it was blended, so we had a coach hybrid, which was over 2 days, and that was sort of both Coach 1 and Coach 2 into one, but we split it up this year so we could really target those working with the youngest athletes. That was complemented by new curriculum materials from Hockey Canada, and I thought that clinic went really quite well. Coach 2 is for all of our Adam and above non-carded teams. A fairly strong presence this year in that program. That program is a little bit more extensive. It's blended as well with e-learning plus an 8-hour clinic with ice sessions, and that includes a checking module, so that gets your checking instructional stream done. And that one comes with a post task, and that is signed off by your association. That's handed into our office by March 31st. So I would hope that if any of you on this call were participants in the Coach 2, you have your verification form submitted, as it's the 28th of March, and we're running into some timeline constrictions here. Dev 1, we put 477 coaches through that program. That of course is for our carded rep teams that are not participating in regional or national championships. And what I'd like to highlight for our Dev 1 course this year is that we had 83% of our delegates who attended the course submit written assignments. So the written assignment is a required piece of post-clinic work. It's significant in terms of its length and breadth, but we had really good return rate, and I think that's because we updated our process for the submission of that document. So right now, all of our Dev 1 post tasks have been marked, and we're getting the results back, and all of our delegates that submitted that on time will be getting our feedback and the results from their field evaluation if they completed that this season in the next few months. Some people will have to do a resubmit, some people have to do a resubmit of sections, and some people will actually fail the project if they didn't sort of complete it with due diligence. With respect to field evaluations, which is another component of the Dev 1 course. So the Dev 1 course is the in-person, the post-task, and a field evaluation. It's a very comprehensive coach education program. The field evaluation, or the practice evaluation, I guess it should be referred to as, that involves one of our trained evaluators going to a practice, running or watching the coach as he conducts the event with his team, does a pre-brief, a debrief with the coach, and just make sure that he's upholding the standards and integrity of the coaching program and what he was taught in the course. Is really probably our best way of reaching out to the association coaches. It's the biggest form of mentorship that we are able to offer as the branch, and I think for the most part, our Development 1 field evaluations were very successful this year. So the number I have down there, 267, that is not complete. So we're still getting our final feedback forms from our regional evaluation leads. And I expect to have almost 300, possibly over 350 evaluations completed this past season. The design of the course this year was to do the practice evaluation in the same season in which you took the clinic. But that was a later decision from the coaching program and only truly implemented in the Lower Mainland and the Vancouver Island. So I'm not sure what happened in the Okanagan or the North Central region or some of the other outlying areas, for instance, the Kootenays. On to our 2017 iteration of the High Performance 1 seminar. We have about 77% of the delegates have submitted their written assignment. Their written assignment is very, very in-depth. It takes about, I'd say, a month or two to complete. There's book reports. There's a number of assignments to do with it, but I'm happy with the number of submissions there. It really makes the coach think about, how they can conduct themselves throughout the season with the way that the assignment is designed. And now with those assignments are being marked by some of our assessors, and then from there we'll be hoping to do the evaluations of them, which contains a practice evaluation and a game evaluation into next season. Jim or David, did you have any additional comments on our clinic stats or our numbers from this year?
I think that the main thing that happened this year was everybody learned at the Development One clinic that there's a whole process that they can be involved with, that right from when they meet with the instructor and through. And I think as the word gets out that the practice evaluation is a very positive mentoring experience, that coaches are keen to be involved, want to be involved in that process. And that's the comments that our instructors are bringing back, that everyone's kind of looking forward to be involved in the whole process more than just the 2 days in the classroom. So it was great evolution of where we want to go with the program, and this year was really positive strokes with everyone getting involved. So, and great numbers for participation.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. And just another observation. These clinics fulfill the training and certification requirements set out for coaches to coach minor hockey teams, but really are only kind of the starting point for coach development. And our specialty clinics really teach coaches how to teach the skills of hockey. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We don't have the numbers here on this screen, but we did hold numerous clinics throughout the province which teach the skills to coaches on how to teach the skills of hockey. So we will touch on that a little bit more, but these clinics, the Coach 1, the Coach 2, and the Development 1, along with the High Performance, they're really the training requirements or the certification requirements to actually coach a team. When you get into the specialty clinics, that's where you learn how to teach the skills of coaching. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, David. We'll move on here for some summer coach development opportunities, and I'll turn to Jim Weicker to discuss our High Performance 1 seminar. And then David will expand on his instructional stream conversation he just had in terms of our goaltending clinic after that. So Jim, go ahead.
So we're returning to Kamloops for the 4th year in a row. And we do our High Performance 1 seminar in conjunction with the Kamloops Coaching Conference. And it's been a big plus for us to be able to be involved with them. We also have the opportunity to use the great facilities at Thompson River University. But by being able to interact with the Kamloops Coaching Conference, they're able to bring in a lot of their alumni coaches and other visiting coaches in the area, and we are able to tap into using those coaches in our seminar presentation of our material. Now, as Michael mentioned earlier, it is a very extensive, involved event, a seminar. It takes 5 full days, and we spend a lot of time interacting with the delegates and their group leader, and there's a lot of opportunities for them to exchange thoughts and kind of prepare themselves on what their written assignment is going to be about, and allowing them to go home and start working on that written assignment and being ready to take the skills and the knowledge that we gave them to implement for the upcoming season. Those coaches that are involved at this level, they'll be coaching Bantam, AAA, Major Midget, and Junior A. So there's a higher quality of coach, and we also have had the opportunity to have coaches from parts from around the world also participate with us. We've had group leaders from, last year had a gentleman from Saskatchewan and whatnot. So we try to get the most high-profile instructors, group leaders, and as many people as possible to give those delegates that are coming, the opportunity to prepare and get themselves ready to dive into the season at the level that they're coaching, and to also get involved in walking through the process of the seminar and the material and the written assignment from the material during the course of the season. And our numbers that we see are pretty high in the 75-80% just as well. And it's a great opportunity. So even if you're at the level now where maybe you're not coaching major midget next year, but want to coach that down the road, then this is the opportunity for you to get involved. And we have a lot of experienced coaches that are there that have a lot to share with those that maybe aren't confident that they are as knowledgeable as they think they should be. The opportunity that's given to them when they're interacting with the coaches in their group. I don't think anyone leaving has ever said that they didn't feel comfortable, that they learned something or gained some knowledge or gained the confidence to do the written assignment, because that's the main thing that we want to take them to the next step. We don't want them coming for 5 days and not being able to have that opportunity to complete the process. Also, we look forward to those that are involved at that level to come back as group leaders. All our group leaders this year are returning. Previously were delegates, and some of our presenters will be group leaders or for sure delegates in the past. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to be part of the process. And being our highest level clinic seminar, it's something for everyone to strive for.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. So as Jim mentioned, it is the pinnacle offering in the BC Hockey Coaching Program. And I would just add that if you are interested, and this is a requirement for you if your team is competing at the regional or national level, that you should get your registration in early. Registration's on the BC Hockey website on the coaching page. So I would make sure you visit that page and register now. Registration is subject to sort of a review by the coaching team here, but it's also based on first come, first serve. So it's sort of a blended approach there. We encourage people to get registered sooner than later to assure their spot for this season. So we'll move on now just to David's expanded conversation on instructional stream offerings that really complement the core competency programs that NCCP has. So David mentioned the Dev 1, Coach 2. Those are all core courses that teach you more of the seasonal planning and how to deal with parents and how to conduct yourself appropriately, whereas the technical, practical instruction comes from our instructional stream, our mentorship offerings. So I'll let David continue the conversation on there. So David, go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael. And just one other thing on the high performance, the registration is already over half full. Correct. So please get your application in quickly here. So when we volunteer to coach a team, or we're selected to coach a team, we have to take the Coach 1, Coach 2, or the Development 1, or in some cases the High Performance 1. And those are the requirements as far as your training and the certification. And unfortunately, what usually happens is everybody assumes that we know how to teach the skills of hockey. We might know the skills of hockey because we played at high levels of hockey ourselves, but that doesn't always mean we know how to teach the skills of hockey. And the reality is that most coaches don't know how to teach the skills of hockey, and those of us who are in the role of finding, recruiting, and appointing coaches need to understand that we have programs available to teach coaches how to teach the skills of hockey. The goaltending clinics, not many of us are goaltenders, so they're an important and integral part of our hockey team. So let's get the coaches out to one of our clinics and teach them how to teach goaltending skills, developing defensemen, the skills clinic. All teach the basics of playing hockey. Skating is probably the foundation of hockey. Yet very few coaches coaching actually know how to teach the skill of hockey. Checking is now part of the Coach 2 clinic, but again, most people don't understand that checking is a skill that is essential to hockey, whether you're a defenseman or a forward. So it's really important that we get our coaches out and involved so that in these clinics, so we are ensuring that we're teaching these guys how to coach these specific skills. We offer these skills clinics throughout the season. We have some, I believe, coming up over the summer here or spring in conjunction with our U14 programs. And any association can host a clinic. They usually take about 3 hours in length. That timeline varies slightly. There's an on-ice component and a classroom component. We can do it in one evening. We can do it in an afternoon. We can do it in consecutive evenings. We'll try to accommodate your association in any way, shape, or form that we possibly can to ensure that your coaches are receiving this training. The requirement from the association is you need to provide a classroom environment for us to hold the off-ice portion and approximately an hour to an hour and a half of ice time depending on the clinic. The cost benefit is very good. The cost to the association to put it on is very minimal. And we think so highly of these clinics, the value of these clinics, that BC Hockey actually funds a portion of the cost for each delegate. So a great opportunity, a great value for coaches. I don't know that there's much more to say on that, Michael or Jim, if you want to add something.
Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
The main thing on these is that if you want to set them up, who you start that process with is talking to your regional coordinator, your program delivery group person that works within your area, that you as a coach or your head coach of your association will know who that person is. They'll be on top of being able to get the process started, show you how to go online, register for the clinic, and get things set up. They'll know what instructors we would have available. So it's really important to be talking to your program delivery work group people as soon as possible.
And just on that vein, these clinics are available all year long, providing we can reach quorum with these clinics. We also want to collaborate with minor hockey associations. We understand that's an untapped resource right now in terms of instructors, which we'll get to in our last slide here. But we want to make sure that these clinics become preeminent in the coaching program. They are going to tie into certification maintenance, which is a program we're working on right now. But as David mentioned, these are the technical aspects of the game. It's how to teach the core skills of the game, and they're extremely important for coaches, no matter what level that individual is. There's levels 1, 2, and 3 within each instructional stream program, so we can choose based on the level of coach, and they're just a terrific opportunity to have these coaches out there doing the technical skills that they're going to be instructing to their players. So we've been trying for a number of years to get these clinics to be profiled the way they should be, and we're trending in the right direction with respect to our numbers. So again, on any of these items that we're discussing here, if you have any questions, you can either comment in the chat box or you can email info@bchockey.net at any time if you have any questions, and we can certainly answer them. This will also be posted online, this presentation, so if someone missed it and you think they should observe it, then it'll be online in the next few days here. So our next slide here will be David.
Before you move on, Michael, the hosting guidelines are on the BC Hockey website. A lot of associations right now are in the process of accepting applications for their representative teams, and you'll have most of your coaches selected very soon. And come early September, late August, you'll have a lot of your C team coaches already selected. Great opportunities to get these clinics done before the season gets underway. And let's get these coaches trained, teaching your kids how to perform these skills of hockey.
Absolutely, thanks, David. We'll go back to David for this topic here. This is just an update on our procedure. We implemented a pilot project this year, which we found extreme success with in terms of operating clinics. David's going to comment on the new clinic timelines, which are posted on here, and the rationale behind them. So David, if you'd like to comment there.
Okay, so previously with our Development One clinics, one of the things we found was we were asking coaches to go to the clinic. We were giving them until the sometime in March to complete their post task, and then following that we would get the post task marked, and then following that we would get the field evaluation done, or sorry, the practice evaluation done. What we were realizing is that that timeline often stretched through 2 seasons, and in some cases beyond 2 seasons. We were not meeting the needs of the coaches when they needed our assistance. And some of our instructors and evaluators discussed the feasibility of tightening up that timeline to assist the coaches in 2 aspects. One, to complete their post task efficiently and in a timely manner, and then getting their field evaluation done in close proximity to when they've completed the clinic. Tightening up that timeline between the clinic, the post task, and the evaluation helps the coaches ask questions whenever necessary, perhaps even during the process of completing their post task if they have their evaluation done. So in the Lower Mainland and on Vancouver Island, we started a pilot project where as soon as the Development One clinic was finished, the names of all the delegates were forwarded on to the evaluation leads, who then assigned evaluators to make contact with these coaches to start the process rolling for getting the field evaluation done. And what we've started to realize is that coaches started taking advantage of that because a lot of coaches had questions about their post task, and this was a great opportunity for the evaluators to sit down with the coaches in order to answer some of those questions and assist them with completing their post task, and then providing feedback in a timely manner for their field evaluation or their practice evaluation. So we realized that we can do a better job in meeting the coaches' needs at the time that they need it. And at the same time, with the introduction of the Coach One, we realized that a lot of these coaches are coaching for the very first time. They've never been on the ice before with the team, either as a head coach or an assistant coach, and a lot of them are just being selected early in September. So we wanted to get that clinic done right at the beginning of the season as well. Moving forward, we realized that most coaches coaching at the Coach 2 level will have eventually have had the Coach 1 moving into Coach 2, and therefore they're going to have some knowledge to fall back on once the season gets started, or as the season gets started. So we proposed some timelines changes to tighten up the clinic season. So we've decided, after doing a trial run in the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island, to try and run our Development One clinics in a condensed timeline up until October 31st. That allows us to get the coaches' field evaluations done, or at least planned, the process started before the Christmas break. In a lot of cases, we're hoping to actually complete the field evaluations before Christmas, and then providing the coaches an opportunity to ask questions about their post tasks. The Coach One clinic, we're going to be running from mid-September to mid-November, and providing those coaches with some of the basic information that they need to start running their teams. And moving forward, these coaches are going to be moving into Coach 2, so they'll have some information to fall back on at the beginning of the season, but want to provide those coaches with some additional information before the Christmas break. So one of the things we found when we implemented this project was that we actually got a really good return on the Development One post task this season. Well over 80% of our post task delegates submitted their post task on time, and the feedback we were receiving from many coaches was that this was providing them with that opportunity to ask questions from their evaluator. So we saw a lot of benefit from that. Michael, anything else there?
No, I just think I can echo David's comments there. It worked extremely well for us this year. I understand that the new timelines will be an adjustment, and we will have to communicate it effectively to our minor hockey associations. That'll be the biggest challenge for us. I think everyone understands the logic and how it makes sense and how it is truly better for our coaches. But our next step here is developing a communications plan to let them know that this is the new standard for how we want to get coaches certified. It really pays off for the Development 1 coaches. Another benefit of them having the shorter timeline and completed by October 31st is that they can get the field evaluation right away, and the practice evaluation right away. And in that practice evaluation session, they can actually work with the evaluator on questions they might have in the written assignment. So it's just another layer of positive mentorship that I think is key for the program.
Yeah. In conjunction with that, this is not just a BC Hockey Down process. We want to get the associations, every association involved. We want to help train people within your associations to provide mentorship through the evaluations, the practice evaluations, to help train your own coaches. Most associations now have either a head coaches or a coach coordinator, and are looking for ways and opportunities to create mentorship and coach development within their own association. And BC Hockey wants to work with you to actually train people on how to do these practice evaluations. These practice evaluations don't have to be done just as part of the certification process for Development 1. They can be done as follow-ups by just within your own association for development. They can be done with the Coach 1 and Coach 2 coaches, not for any certification, but just as a means of providing mentorship to those coaches to help develop them, because those coaches are going to be your future Development 1 coaches. So we want to work with you to help develop those coaches as well. Also, we want to work with your association to help train people within your association to provide the instructional stream clinics, the skating, the checking, the skills, the developing defensemen, goaltending. We want to work with your association. So you have an in-house resource now to provide that information and that training to your coaches whenever you want to do that, which then will work hand in hand with the coach maintenance program. So,
absolutely, Jim. Do you have any comments as the NCCP clinic lead? Anything that you observed from this season that you can briefly sort of mention in relation to this?
The big thing that happened this season in a lot of our districts was that there was a lot of cooperation amongst the neighboring associations. We have a lot of associations that kind of work in tandem or with neighboring associations to say, hey, we'll do the Development 1 this year, you guys do it the next year. And a lot of those sort of patterns have been set up and are being put into place and implemented. And so I'm hoping and encouraging our program people to work with the minor hockey associations and get a clinic scheduled together as quickly as possible, and make sure everybody, I know everyone's going to tell us that, hey, we don't know who all our coaches are, but you have a pretty good idea how many coaches you're going to need, and you'll have relatively how many will be returning. So we can work with those marginal numbers to kind of make sure we've got enough instructors available to do and work around those dates, and to also to accommodate your needs. I guess the only other comment I'd like to make is that the new timelines are basically October the 31st, November the 15th, and December the 15th, and that's the deadline date. But the start date is always within what we can work with. So in regards to the Coach 2 clinic, we would offer one in October, but we would only offer it on the availability of instructors, and it's not going to be on a first come, first served basis. You can't come at us and say, hey, we applied in August, so we should go first for a Coach 2. Well, no, we're not going to be able to offer a Coach 2 until at least November 1st, but we can have some flexibility in starting earlier if we can fit the instructors in and if we can fit into the timeline. But as soon as the association can know what the numbers are, that's a great benefit to us.
Absolutely. The priority will be the clinics within the prescribed timelines, but we'll start clinics anytime really during the year if we have a need and an association wants to host. So if we want to start hosting clinics now, if you want to host a clinic in 2 weeks, we'll get a clinic set up for you if we can find and I'm sure we'll find an instructor somewhere. And as long as you can provide the students, we'll get the clinic going. Please go to the BC Hockey website. The coaching page has been revamped this year. We hope we made it a little bit more user-friendly, that the information is laid out well for everyone. And all the information on hosting clinics is there. Whether you want to host a clinic, whether or not you want to be a delegate at a clinic, all the information should be there. And what you need as a coach to coach whatever level you're coaching at is also laid out there. So.
Excellent. I'll just comment quickly that we are a little bit over time here, and this is our final slide here, and it sort of reiterates a lot of points that were previously mentioned by David and Jim and myself. But we'll talk briefly now on the recruitment of new people and how important that is to our overall capacity and how that makes our system work. So David, I'll allow you to comment here, and then we'll have some closing comments after that.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. We are always looking for new course facilitators, whether it's at the skills level, whether it's at the Coach 1, Coach 2, or Development 1 level. We're constantly looking for somebody. If you have somebody in your association, whether it's a head coach, coach coordinator, just a coach that you want to see get involved, or you are a coach that wants to get more involved in mentorship, helping out other coaches and learning more yourself about coaching, please go to our BC Hockey website, click on our application forms, and forward your name. We're always looking to develop more facilitators. The benefit to your association is phenomenal because you can take the information that BC Hockey will provide you with back to your own association and share it with your own coaches. It's something that you will be able to take back to your own teams as well. So it's not just a benefit to BC Hockey to have you involved. It's a benefit to your own personal team. It's a huge benefit to your association to have people in your association in these positions.
Absolutely. On that too, I realize now that you probably can't click the hyperlinks in the PowerPoint presentation. That's not how this program works. However, these are relatively easy to find on the BC Hockey website, and we can make sure that these opportunities are communicated as well to our minor hockey associations and our members. Now we'll move on to Jim, just to discuss quickly an August seminar we have planned to train these individuals. Jim, do you want to touch briefly on that? There's probably not a lot of information there, but you can mention it quickly in terms of what happened last year.
The main thing is, well, that I want to make sure everyone understands is that if you become a course facilitator, you're not left on your own. We have a shadow training program where we work you into the program with an experienced instructor that helps you go through the process. So that's become very successful for us. And as you're ready to present, we move you up the ladder. We'll bring new people in August as well for a training seminar to kind of give you an additional heads up on what's going to be involved. So again, that program delivery person in your region is really important for you to communicate with directly or through your head coach.
Thanks, Jim. David, do you have any closing comments as we conclude this Enhanced Services webinar?
Thank you to everyone for taking some time out to join us on this webinar. Thank you very much to everyone for all the time, effort you've put into this previous season and the time and effort you're going to put into upcoming seasons. Your time and effort is greatly appreciated by everyone. So thank you very much for doing that. BC Hockey has a lot of opportunities available to anybody who wants to become involved. And these opportunities don't just benefit BC Hockey, they're invaluable to your own association and to your own teams. So please explore those opportunities. We're constantly looking for people to get involved. The more people that are involved, obviously the lighter the workload, but the greater the sharing of knowledge. So thank you very much to Jim and Michael for putting this on. Perfect. Jim, do you have anything as we conclude?
No, great season. Looking forward to another fun season.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'll just turn it back over to Bill to officially sort of end the seminar here, but thank you for being part, and certainly email any questions, concerns to our office, and we'll make sure we can address them immediately. So our summer session is really about planning and trying to make next season the most efficient and best experience for our players through great coaching. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Michael. I'd just like to conclude this evening's webinar by thanking our three presenters, Michael, Jim, David. The program never stops, and it has some rather lofty plans for the coming years, well thought out. We just now have to make it a success and keep moving forward. The amount of knowledge our coaches have in comparison to what that was 20, 30 years ago is absolutely astounding. And we need to keep up. We need to keep up with what they need to be effective members in your association. And so on behalf of BC Hockey, thank you to the coaching program for doing that. On behalf of the associations that you people represent, good work for another probably long and arduous season. Take a little bit of a break, reevaluate, take a look at your coaches, and then get ready for a planning session and onward and upward, and hope that 2018-2019 is another outstanding season. That concludes us for tonight. Again, thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you again. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.